It's Monday, August 24th, 2020. Really quick, before we start this video today, I want to make a correction. About 200 people wrote me last night, brought it to my attention, went over an article, and I quoted Ice Cube, but I called him Ice-T. So I want to correct that. It was not Ice-T. It was Ice Cube, who I quoted, who was calling out U.S. politicians for the bailout. And so I want to just correct that. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. It was not Ice-T, it was Ice Cube. Maybe Ice-T will come out and we will hear what he thinks about these bailouts and the politicians here in America and all this corruption. So again, I apologize. Wanted to just bring that to your attention, correct it, and thank you for bringing it to my attention. So let's get into what's happening today. Article I was reading, this is all over the internet. Most of you already know this. We keep hearing these record number gun and ammo sales, and this is a real bellwether of what we are seeing happening in America, and this is telling you and I that something very, very dangerous is coming to America. We look at the news over the weekend: 110 people shot in Chicago, 13 dead. We look at a lot of people in New York, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., Los Angeles. Article here in the Hedge: New York City is dead, and it's only going to get worse. Massive crime waves now, up triple digits. It's happening in all of our big cities, and this is going to be a trend. It's going to continue to get much, much worse. This is on CBS Bay Area News. CZU Lightning complex. Body found. Looter steals fire commander's wallet. Drains bank account. 77,000 people evacuated. This is what we're dealing with today. There are actually people up there in the Bay Area during these fires looting. They just arrested 8 people for looting. Just imagine the type of lowlifes that are out there and what you and I are going to possibly be dealing with at some point. But this lowlife, while a fire commander was doing his job, snuck into this guy's truck, stole his wallet, and drained his bank account. I mean, at the worst possible times, you are going to be dealing with people that have absolutely no conscience whatsoever. The state of California is never going to be the same. Another article today: 1.4 million acres now scorched, billions of dollars in damage. Our governor, Gavin Newsom, came out a couple weeks ago and said that this state would not be able to pay unemployment benefits, bonuses, the $300, because we're broke. So here we are now, billions of dollars in damage, 1.4 million acres scorched. This state is beginning to look like hell on earth. And I'm going to tell you, I cannot wait to get out of the state of California. And I hate to say that because it was such a beautiful state back in the day, and so many good memories here. But it is becoming a nightmare. It is becoming hell on earth. And it's going to get much worse here in California, as now California is going broke. Wall Street Journal: New Orleans braces for evictions as renters fall behind. Belongings pile up on streets. This is on the Wall Street Journal today. If you get a chance, check it out. Hundreds of renters in New Orleans have received eviction notices. This is due to unpaid rent, and the worst is yet to come. The numbers are going to skyrocket. It's in the hundreds right now, but it will be going into the thousands. The eviction ban expired in June. A separate moratorium expires August 24th. 44% of the state renters' residents are cost burdened, meaning they spend more than 1/3 of their income on rent. Maximum unemployment benefits in Louisiana is $247. It's the lowest in any state. That's the maximum amount you can get in a week with unemployment benefits, $247. So as things are happening right now in Louisiana, people's personal belongings are piling up on street corners as they're being evicted. No place to go. And this is why I've been saying we are going to see an explosion in homelessness in America. If you don't have family, if you don't have friends to fall back on, where do you go? What are you going to do? People are having their cars repoed. they've got no savings whatsoever. Many people were completely taken off guard with this shutdown. Many people before the shutdown had zero savings, zero emergency fund. And now we are in the worst economic collapse in U.S. history. As things get worse, we are going to see things socially really decay here in America. Peter Schiff, Main Street's pain is Wall Street's gain. I thought this was a fantastic article on the hedge. I'm going to paraphrase through a little bit of it. Dow up almost 400 points today, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. NASDAQ and S&P 500 at all-time highs. But, we just get the news that we lost another 1.5 million jobs. We got those numbers last Thursday. They're probably going to be very close to that this coming Thursday. And we've got the Dow Jones continuing to surge. Dow Jones up, I think it was 378 points today. We might as well just say 400. NASDAQ, S&P 500 at all-time highs. This leads people to believe that the economy is doing just fine. In fact, it's doing beyond fine, just fine. It's doing incredible. When people turn on the television and they look at an economist speaking to them in a $3,000 suit, telling them how great the markets are doing, people believe everything is okay. The same people who are collecting an unemployment check, the same people who are dependent on a stimulus check, are being completely bamboozled into thinking that everything is okay, that this is normal. This is far from normal. The very thing helping the Wall Street boom is crushing the actual Main Street economy. Stop and think. Just stop and think about what's happening right now. The continued stock market climb should be a bit perplexing to every one of you. And when you look what's happening behind the scenes, it's pretty easy to figure out what's happening. The economy is shut down. Unemployment has skyrocketed, and we are in a deep recession. And yet, we have a booming stock market. We just saw the worst ever in mortgage delinquencies. Businesses shutting down. Bankruptcies are at a 10-year high. Americans owe billions in back rent. We could say corporate debt's at all-time highs, household debt at all-time highs, retail apocalypse, auto sales plunging, commercial real estate depression. I mean, it goes on and on and on. There's a rising number of leveraged zombie companies, and a tsunami of defaults and bankruptcies are on the horizon. Yet, Dow Jones up almost 400 points today. They can only stimulate the stock market. Stimulus doesn't help Main Street. In fact, it's actually hurting Main Street. Printing money at artificially low rates doesn't do anything for the real economy, but it works magic on Wall Street. That's why every time the stock market has trouble, what happens? More stimulus coming to the aid, coming to help this stock market. We're sacrificing the future to indulge in the present, Peter Schiff says. Strengthening the stock market is actually weakening the economy. But doesn't the stock market reflect earnings of the economy? No, he says. It reflects the earnings of companies that are part of the stock market. Remember, the vast majority of businesses in America are not publicly traded. They are not in the Dow 30, they're not in the S&P 500 or the Wilshire 5000. They are privately held companies. They are the backbone of America, ladies and gentlemen. These bigger companies are benefiting from the overall weakness of the economy. They have no competition. They remain open for business while the little guy, the little mom and pop retailer, little mom and pop restaurants are closed. It is like they are just eating the weak, eating up the smaller ones, devouring everything in their sight. So while Target can remain open and Walmart and Costco and all the big boys, they're just devouring all the small businesses around them and just killing off the competition. The weaker the economy gets, the better it will be for the stock market, Peter says. In a weak economy, the Fed prints even more money. We're getting bigger stimulus, sedating Main Street while pumping up Wall Street. And I thought that was a really good article. If you get a couple minutes, check it out. But I wanted to bring that to your attention because I thought Peter made some incredible points. So after reading that article, I read an article today, and it's titled, China's Economy is Bouncing Back and Gaining Ground on the U.S. So while I read this article of Peter Schiff, and we see the destruction that is taking place to the U.S. economy and the small business owner, the backbone of America. China's economy is bouncing back, and they are trying to catch up to America. I believe China is a huge threat to America, militarily and financially. Restaurants and gyms are busy again in China. Subway cars and airport departure lounges are packed. Children are preparing to return to classrooms and not even required to wear face protection. Isn't that amazing? Economists at the World Bank and elsewhere have upgraded their forecasts for China, the only major economy expected to grow this year. This is going to help them to catch up to the United States of America. Just think about that. What they did to the entire world, and now, and I said this a long time ago, I believe this was the plan, that their economy would open back up. So much of the world is dependent on China. So while everybody's economy has just been crushed, they're literally forced to rely and buy from China because China is open for business and they're ready to go. So it's amazing how fast they open back up. Global economists predict China will catch America by the year 2028. Again, no accountability. Is the world holding China accountable for what they did? I don't see it happening. In fact, most of the world is buying from China. And I think you could argue right now China's economy is bigger than America right now. They are a superpower. And they are going to get much, much more powerful militarily and economically as America sits around buying things with money it doesn't have, running up huge debts and deficits, relying on a service-based economy, relying on consumption, while China is building and making everything for the world. You know, it's amazing. China poured more concrete in 2 years than America did in 100 years. China, I think last year sold 54% of all the world's steel. I mean, this country is going bananas, and it is just absolutely ripping and robbing America all over the place on every deal, taking full advantage. And if we're not careful, we're going to lose our world dominance to China, and we will lose our reserve currency. Possibly to China. We know China wants to go to a gold standard. That's no secret. But there is so much happening behind the scenes, and it's so important that all of us are awake and aware of what's happening, preparing as this depression deepens. It's going to be the longest, hardest hitting, most grueling depression America has ever seen. And unfortunately, most people are completely unaware of it, unprepared for it. And they're going to pay an ultimate price for it. But look at the bellwethers, violence erupting all over. Look at what's happening in Wisconsin right now, brutalizing police. Look, I can't really say exactly what happened, but it doesn't matter. You don't just go and assault police officers with bricks, shooting at police officers now, lighting cars and buildings on fire. I mean, this is absolutely out of hand. And look, it's going to continue to erupt all the way into November and beyond. The news continues to get darker and more negative, and it's going to continue to be that way for quite a long time. You know, people just want, a lot of people, they just go to church because they want to hear something good. They want to hear what they want to hear. They don't want to hear the truth. They just want to be told something. They'd rather be lied to just so they feel good. I don't make these videos to make anybody feel good. I don't make these videos to make friends or to get a whole bunch of likes. I'm making these videos to make sure every one of you is waking up to what is happening in this country right now, that you are waking up to the worst economic collapse that has just arrived. We're in the second inning of this collapse. We got a long way to go, and we're going to see a lot of tragedies. Again, the jobless numbers, the people being evicted, homeless is going to explode. It's going to be a disaster. People going hungry in America, the violence. I mean, this doesn't even look like America anymore, does it? It looks like some third world country. People absolutely running out of control, assaulting, killing, burning. It's absolutely insanity with what we're watching take place now every day. It's just becoming the norm. And at some point, this is going to come to a head. And at that point, it's going to get very, very ugly here in America. But look, I'm going to leave it there. Make sure that you're doing whatever you can do to prepare for yourself and your family. Be walking close to God. I'll be trying to post another Patreon video in the next couple days. And I hope to talk to every one of you very, very soon. Please be safe out there. Be very aware of your surroundings and your environment. I can't even believe what I'm watching happen to this country. And I cannot believe the type of animals that are running around on the streets of America doing whatever they want to do. No respect for life, no respect for law, no respect for their country. They are just animals. Animals don't even act this bad. They are just demonic beings running loose. So make sure that you are staying very close to God, because this is spiritual warfare, and it is going to get much, much deeper, darker, and much more dangerous. Talk to you very soon.